What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining in. I am Hex Manifesto, and today we are joined by a plethora of AR enthusiasts. Little background to what we're doing today. About a week ago, Pokemon ARtographer on Twitter shared some pictures, and I was like, man, that is a style that I'm not very versed in, and I wanted him to just little one-on-one show me how to do it, and then that comment got a like and a response, and that comment got a like and response, and next thing you know, we're gonna try our hand at making some video tutorials using Zoom, so people from all over the world can join in. And yeah, so that's a little. Basically, you're about to see the pilot episode of what doesn't even have a name. It's just the AR tutorials right now. Today I'm joined with, of course, Pokemon ARtographer.
What's up, everybody?
Lae Snaps. Down below we got PeloPogo. And last and certainly least, PopPunkPokemonYT.
What's up, bitches?
So yeah, today, our first topic, we decided that with the release of the new reality blending in-app, that some of us have been doing this for a really long time already. And one of the cleanest, if not the cleanest, I will say, that I've seen is Pokemon ARtographer. As you can see from his background picture, he's got just an absolute beauty of a Duskull. And that wasn't done in app this week. That was done, what, almost a year ago? Maybe even longer?
I think what did we say? Last January.
Yeah, so good bit. So hopefully AR blending or reality blending in AR has brought in some new people to the AR community, and this is going to be a little tutorial on how you can make your AR blending shots even more realistic. With that,
right, because as we've seen, the AR blending is not available for everybody, right?
Nope. Samsung 10 and 20, guys. We are out to dry.
iPhone.
Well, Hex, I think it's time for you to finally undo the mistake you've done.
What'd I do?
Get the right phone, dude.
Oh, no. I'm never going to Apple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see? Even Lee's in on it.
Nah.
All right. Well, take it away, savant of the edits.
Hardly, but more idiot than savant, I think. Yeah, so as Ryan here was saying, we're basically going to do some quick, simple tutorials on blending Pokemon into the real world. As he pointed out, this Duskull photo here was done way before reality blending was a thing. And a lot of us have been doing stuff like this for a while. So we decided that, let's put something out there so that anybody else who's interested has this information at their fingertips. So I'm going to go into screen share mode. So say goodbye to everybody's beautiful faces for a little bit. And what we're going to do today is we're going to attempt to emulate a couple of photos that I've taken previously in preparation for this Zoom tutorial. So the first photo we're going to try and recreate is this Eevee here. And obviously Eevee has legs when you take a photo of it in the app. This is the original photo that we started editing from. And that's the one we're going to edit today in the tutorial. And then the second one we're going to do is this Growlithe photo here. So for this one was a little bit more complicated. The Eevee photo, all I had to do was just get down low, take a photo of the Eevee, and then take it into Photoshop Fix to blend it into the grass. For the Growlithe, this one was a little bit more complicated, as I said. What I had to do was actually set up a tripod to hold my phone so that I could place the Growlithe, get the photo, recall the Growlithe, place it somewhere else off camera where it wouldn't be seen, and then get this empty photo of the railing without the Growlithe in it. And that's what we're going to edit in Photoshop Mix. So first, we'll just jump right into it. For Photoshop Fix, I'm just going to open up the original project of the Eevee. And again, you can see it's just very simply blended into the grass. I didn't spend more than maybe 5-10 minutes on this just to get it to look a little bit more realistic, like it's not just sitting on top of grass, but in it. There's two tools that we're going to use for this. Both of them are going to be under the healing option, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there. The first tool is the clone stamp tool. Now, the spot heal tool is very useful for certain things, but the problem with the spot heal tool is that the spot heal, it's going to work off of what it thinks you want and not necessarily what you really want. So if I were to just try and spot heal his feet into the grass right now, you're gonna see we get this odd blending of like its mouth and just some like odd brown, you know, it just doesn't work as cleanly. So what we wanna do is we wanna use the clone stamp tool. Now what the clone stamp tool is gonna do, you're gonna set a source. So wherever you tap on the screen, that's the source it's gonna use to clone in over where you paint. So if I tap the tree, it paints in the tree. If I tap the grass in the background, it's gonna paint in the grass in the background. It is literally copying and pasting wherever you're tapping over wherever you're painting. Now, obviously what we want is a perspective that matches where the EV is. So we're gonna use the grass that's closer up front. So we're gonna tap on the grass, say right about here. And this way, when we paint over the EV with our finger here, boom, it's just hidden like that. Now, you know, this was just a quick little run to show you how the heal works. Obviously that's too much. Now the EV looks like it's just a ghost EV that doesn't belong there. You want to base your painting of the clone stamp off of what you're trying to blend it into. So the grass, you know, it goes up to a certain height. Like it's not gonna cover its entire body up here. It's gonna cover its feet, maybe some of its legs, but you literally are just running your finger over it to try and paint the EV in, or paint the grass in over the EV. And that's all you're gonna do here. So I'm gonna get a little bit more precise now. I'm gonna zoom in a bit so I can do it. And the other thing with the clone stamp tool is whenever you start painting, it's gonna start painting in from the source that you set. And then if you go left, it'll go left of the source. If you go up, it'll go up of the source. If you go right, it'll go right of the source. Once you remove your finger from the screen, wherever you tap again, it's gonna start it at the same spot. So if I tap here, you can see the circle where it's got that lighter piece of grass. That's where it's going to start. So that lighter piece of grass is where it's going to start copying from. So you have to keep that in mind when you're doing the clone stamp, is that whenever you start a tap, it's going to start from your source point. So if we edit in the EV here, or edit in the grass over the EV, I'm just going to paint over it in one smooth swipe. I'm just going to keep going over the areas that I want painted so that it's not going to keep tapping to set the new, and it's like that new source is always, the source point isn't always just added in repeatedly. So last time we'll go through and do a slightly cleaner cut. We're gonna paint over its feet completely because its feet are obviously gonna be hidden. And I'm just gonna be looking at it as I edit and like, okay, does that look like the back feet should probably be hidden a little bit more. So we're gonna paint in the back feet a little bit. And then we end up with something like that. Now, again, I would probably spend a little bit more time on this to really bring out, like, you know, make it look more realistic. Like I really want to get the height of the grass right so that it doesn't look just off. But this is something you can easily spend 5 minutes on. You could spend an hour on just to get the look right. But I would probably be happy with something close to this. And again, I would probably spend a little bit more time working on it. Now, what we can also do after this fact, this is where we can use the spot heal if we want to, and not painting over the EV, but painting over the grass to try and get rid of some of those cloned areas that, you know, they just look exactly the same as everything else. So now what the spot heal is doing is it's pulling in from the grass around where I'm painting and trying to blend it in a little bit better so that it looks like uniform grass and it doesn't look like grass that's been copied and pasted from a whole nother area. So the spot heal tool works good if you're using it over similar colors, but if you're trying to blend between this green and this brown, then it gets that weird look there, that odd edit. Again, for that, we would want to go back to the clone stamp if I want to fix his foot here. And then I'm gonna paint in new clone stamp. And I mean, that's pretty much all that there is for the clone stamp and the healing. There's not a whole lot to it. And it's just a matter of painting it enough to get that final look that you want. You save it, and then you can export it to your camera roll. And that's it. That's literally all you do for cloning and healing. The Growlithe photo, now we'll jump into that. This one's going to be a lot more difficult because, again, first of all, I had to set up a tripod so that the photos, when I took them, they lined up properly. Now, as you'll see when we go into the editing, it's not going to line up exact. So I'm going to have to do some scaling, some rotating maybe a little bit, some moving of the images so that they line up. But at least I get a lot closer than if I were trying to handhold it. With a tripod, I can at least make sure that overall it's placed in the same area. I'm going to open up the original edit that I did, and you can see I've got 2 layers. So the first layer underneath here, that's just the Growlithe photo. I'm going to go ahead and hide the top layer. This is the Growlithe photo taken straight out of the app. And the layer above it is that empty photo of the railing that I put above it. And what you can see is all that blank space around the gray areas there in the layer, that's the areas that I cut out to make sure that it blended in with the other railing. So I'll go into that one. Here's the new one, starting from scratch. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna open up a new image and add it in as a layer. So now you've got the blank photo layered on top of the Growlithe, and what we wanna do is cut out all that blank space between the railings so that the Growlithe shows up. Now, to do that, what we're going to do is use the cutout tool at the bottom there. You go to cutout, this is where, again, you have several different options. Now, auto, I've never used auto because, again, it's the app trying to decide what you want and not what, or what it wants, you know, what it thinks you want and not exactly what you want. And again, it just ends up messy. The smart tool is a lot better because with the smart tool, it's going to, if you paint over an area, there's the railing. And again, like I said, it's not lined up properly because we have to rotate and size and everything like that because again, the phone, even though it's using a tripod, it's still not gonna line up exactly. I'm not gonna be able to place it to the exact same spot in the tripod that I did when I first took the photo. But with a smart tool, it's just so much cleaner. It's a lot faster and it's a lot easier. The basic tool is literally a paintbrush that you use to cut out the areas that you want. So if you use the basic tool, you're going to paint in what you want. And you can even use the eraser tool to clean up what you don't. And that works the same even with the smart tool. So if we go back to the smart
eraser tool,
when you tap on the one that you want to use, you'll either have brush or you'll have eraser.
Okay.
So you'd be able to bring up things like either if you're adding to the photo or you're taking away from the photo, you can set the size of the brush and you can set the hardness, whether it's a clean edge or whether it's going to have feathered edges.
I'm having trouble adding a second layer.
I believe ours says add or subtract Pelo on the Android.
Yeah, I'm on iPhone right now.
Oh.
I actually edit on the iPhone. Take the pictures on the Samsung.
I do have to say that you're right. This app on Apple is way better than the one on Android.
Yeah, as we were saying pre-call here, the Android version is a bit watered down. There's a few options that the Android version does not have in Photoshop Mix. One of those options, I believe, is being able to set the opacity of the layer. Like I can go in here, set the layer to 40% opacity, and I can pre-size and pre-rotate the layer to where I want, and having the opacity down, it makes it easier.
I can do
but
that.
You have the opacity?
Yeah. You just have to go to blend.
Blend?
Okay, see, I didn't explore the Android one a lot because I went straight into it and I was trying to use it the same way I used the iPhone one. And I was like, okay, this is not the same. This is pissing me off.
Okay, but how do you add another layer? Because I'm back there.
You hit the plus.
Okay, so there's a plus button right above your original photo.
No, there isn't.
What do you have right now? Let's see your screen, because I can still see. If you put it up to the camera, I can see it even though we're broadcasting because I've got the.
Oh right, yeah. This is what I'm looking at.
Okay. Tap the screen because I think you're not even seeing the tools, and there should be. Are you on
my tools
iPhone
are
or
at the
an
bottom.
Android?
What have
It's
you
an
done,
iPhone.
Justin?
I don't know. Wait, here's a question. Are you
Yeah.
using the free version of the app?
I don't think there is a paid version actually.
Oh, weird. Okay.
How about you back out and let Justin pop up? And then
Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna stop my screen share. Justin, why don't you do a screen share and
Okay.
let's see what you've got.
This is live technical difficulties.
That's good
No,
because
it's
we got
just-
troubleshooting because anyone watching this might end up with the same problem.
Yeah,
so.
because I didn't even know that. Oh, I guess my phone isn't on it. Okay, let me join that. Okay.
Is your phone still on the call?
No, it's not. But I'm going to the link right now.
Okay, perfect.
I guess it's somehow
Oh,
disconnected.
yeah, you are gone.
Video.
I think it's really nice that we can do like a master class of Mr.
Yeah.
ARtographer, and we can like ask questions. Super nice.
Yeah, I mean,
love
it's essentially like a what was it? I just had the name for it, but I mean, we basically have, like you said, it's a live class. It's a classroom where we can do these tutorials, and having these questions pop up is great because anybody watching is like, oh, if they have the same issue, then if someone asks a question, we can try and resolve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
You're gonna approve me.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting for it to pop up. I didn't see it in the waiting room. There it is.
Okay, cool.
You're in.
All right. So it's asking for audio. My options are call over internet, dial in, or cancel. Just cancel that.
You don't want audio on the phone.
All right, so cancel that. Okay, and then the rest I know. All right. Screen and start broadcast. Cool. Fun. Great. All right,
Perfect.
so here is what I'm looking at. Like, literally, when I click on it, I don't have an option to add a new layer, like at all.
Oh, okay. No, that's because you're in Photoshop Fix, so you want to be in Photoshop Mix.
There it is.
Oh.
Sometimes the easiest solution, the most obvious solution, is the easiest solution.
If you could enunciate your F's, that would be great. You know, I can give you some words to help.
Oh,
you
sorry.
Oh,
All right, we're chilling.
an
All right,
F,
we're
I
good.
got
Yeah,
it.
everything is
There
fine.
we go.
We're good.
All right.
All right.
So
Now
I'm gonna
everything
go back
else
to
it makes sense.
broadcasting.
Yeah, this is because like I never whenever I do anything layer related, I always do it in PhotoFox.
Oh.
Yeah,
But-
I think the only reason I've used PhotoFox before, but I think the only reason I keep coming back to Photoshop Fix and Mix is because they seem to be a little bit more user friendly. Like I feel like the interface is a little bit more intuitive.
Yeah, it's more dialed
especially
in.
for more
sure.
yeah, and especially for more basic users, people who aren't necessarily like versed in photo editing or things like that. People who just kind of really want to do this for fun, but still want to enhance their skills just a little bit, just to have a little more realism to their photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you go in and add the layer, then you can add in the blank one, and so now we've got that in here.
Yep. Got that.
Going back to the cutout, like we were saying, and Palo, you see the add and subtract now.
Yeah, I thought it was like a blocked off button for me because it's like gray, but no, I just clicked on it and I was like, okay, yeah, I can click on it.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, even with the smart feature, we can add in, or if you tap it again, you get the options and you can subtract out.
Okay.
And that way, you can use the smart function to do either. Right? I mean, it's just so simple, so easy. But so what we're going to do is we are going to use the smart function to kind of really get it started, because as you can see, that was really the easiest. So I'm going back to the start and I'm going to use the smart feature. But before that, I want to explain one other thing too. At the very, very top here, you see those that triple stack of squares. That gives you different views. So you can either see the layer fully shown, or you can have it slightly opaque so that when you go and do your edit, it's easier to tell, oh, okay, that's the part that's being painted in. If you hit the layer again, it instead shows you the whole photo, all layers active. And this might make it a little bit harder if you really just want to dial in what you're adding and what you're subtracting from that one layer. So this will give you an overall view and can be like, oh, okay, we're getting close, but I still can't tell, which railing am I looking at? Am I looking at the top layer? Or am I looking at the bottom layer? You tap that, it's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm looking at. So we can see here, I've got a little bit of this stuff, and we've got the edges here are fairly clean. I mean, again, you know, it's using the app's whatever algorithm it's using to get that in, but it's still pretty clean. But using this, if I come here to try and edit that in, I can see, oh, this part here that just got added, that's going to cover the Growlithe. That's what we don't want. But I'm still going to go in and just edit in the railing and make sure we've got it as far enough over. I'm not going to go in and edit the whole railing in. I just want to go far enough to make sure that it's covering the Growlithe that's showing in the bottom layer.
Definitely.
So now that I've got that in there, before I go and clean it up, I want to make sure that the layers are aligned properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the check mark to apply this cutout, because we can always go back in and add or remove cutout as we like. It's not a final set. Like, it's still going to remember what is and isn't there. So if I go back into that layer and go to cutout, I can still go and add in more of the background of the original layer. It's what we call a non-destructive edit. It's not deleting things. It's basically putting a mask over it, and it's either showing or hiding things from that layer. But before, like I said, before I go in and finalize that edit, what I want to do is make sure that the layers are lined up properly, because the railing is just off. So what I'm going to do is tap on the layer that I want to move, which is going to be the top layer, the railing, and then I just literally click and drag it.
Wow.
And I just drag it around until I find that it's lined up exactly where I want it to be.
I have this question because my app keeps like if I get close to fixing it, it all of a sudden like automatically drags me to the center. And
what you want to do is
me.
You can pinch and zoom to, you can pinch and pull to zoom in and out. But what you'd want to make sure is that no layer is selected. If you have a layer selected and you pinch and pull, it's going to affect the layer. If you're gonna try and zoom in and zoom out, what you want to do is just tap that layer again. So like just tap anywhere on the photo to make sure you deselect all layers. Because if you have a blue box around it, that means the layer is active and you're going to edit it. If you tap twice to deselect everything, then you can pinch and zoom. And same thing when you go into edit. So if I go to cut out the layer, same thing, I can pinch and zoom or pinch and pull to zoom in and out.
Okay.
Is that what you're?
Was that what you're at?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Because there's also, if you bring up that the layer again, ARtographer, yeah, that snap. I think that's what he's talking about. You need to turn that on because it's snapping to fit for him.
Yeah, that's the.
It's always trying to center it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mix layer. So
Ryan, how did you turn off snap to fit?
It's not really a turn off. If you just tap it, it's going to automatically move it.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
then you
if
can
there
just move
is
it
a way
manually
on Apple to turn that snap, because that's what, like, if you have two box layers and you get like kind of close to the corner, the phone thinks you want them aligned and will.
Correct. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
when I do my edits in PhotoFox, it does that all the time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did that get the question answered, Philip?
Yeah, but I guess there's no way to just like.
I would go through I would look in the actual app's options to like just turn off snap to. It's usually called snap to fit or snap to center or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I'll check it out then after this.
Yeah, because I mean, if I go into, I'm gonna just back out here and we'll go into. There's not really any kind of options in this here. Like it's all really just what you see is what you get kind of deal.
Or Pelo, another option that's helpful is if you just zoom in on the entire project and then move it. And that way you can actually fine tune the adjustment of how you're moving the layer as well. And it will not snap to fit because it doesn't have anything to visually see you to snap to fit to.
Oh, yeah, that actually works better.
Yeah, that's
what I did. This is why we do it as a group, because we get multiple viewpoints and multiple solutions. And again, Pelo, are you editing on an iPhone or an Android?
I'm editing on iPhone.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only Android user here. For now.
This is dope.
Okay, so
all right. I'm
done. Like I was saying, I came out of the photo here and I moved the layer so that it's lined up properly. And then from that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the layer and I'm going to go back into cutout. And this is where I can go and fix, like, okay, his hair up here, I need to get rid of the hair. So I'm going to add in the railing at the top. And then we've got, oh, the bleed that we had from the smart photo. So I'm going to go to the basic. I'm going to set the size. Probably want it a little small. Don't want it too hard or too soft because we want it to at least have a little bit of feathering. So it's, you know, like how a photo would blend. And I'm going to erase this part here. Uh-oh. I turned it sideways. I'm going to lock my rotation.
We've been over this. You just got to zoom
I'm going to
more.
lock my rotation.
Oh dear.
Yeah, apparently when you turn to landscape and zoom, the screen broadcast stops. So
what?
Okay. Yeah, for
They
whatever
can't
reason.
think of everything.
Turn the lock on. Turn the lock on.
I did before I went back at the screen broadcast. So I'm in the basic, I'm in the eraser, and now I turned the lock on. I swear to God, I turned the lock on.
I just don't think you can turn the phone sideways.
I know, and I'm trying to turn it only because it's easier to edit that way because I can see what I'm doing, but I guess I'll just look on the screen. All right, going back in the
giant computer in front of you.
Yeah, shut up.
It's only supposed to be 20 minutes long.
I'm not going to move it. Yeah, it's supposed to be, but
pilot.
Well, just paint
I want to do this so much more. Can we make this a weekly thing?
I would like to do this as much as we can. But yeah, so like I said, I'm just going to paint it over these parts with the basic tool just to clean it up a little bit. And again, this is another one of those things that I would spend literally maybe about an hour or so on to really fine tune it, to really get it to look clean. You know, like I'm not happy with some of these edges, like some of the railing isn't actually in the shot. Some of the growlers might be out of it too, but we're just going through this really, really fast for the purposes of this tutorial. And that's essentially what we get. It's very much similar to the first photo that I showed you, which that one I spent more like about a straight half hour or so editing to get it a little bit cleaner. But this is our final look here, and it looks a lot better than just the growler sitting in front of the railing, or probably better than what you can get out of reality blending too.
Definitely. You'd have huge gaps on the legs.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's really it. That's all that there is.
Yeah,
hey, look at that.
You don't have to put it up to the camera, Pelo. We're gonna go around.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll
Actually, yeah, we should go around and screen share and see the results from anybody who is doing the edits here, because I really, really want to see like where everybody else came with this, especially with that Eevee photo. If you guys are doing the Eevee, I really want to see that.
Yeah, I did both.
Because that one is a little bit more. The Eevee is a little bit more subjective. You know, with the Growlithe, it's obviously, oh, the railing is going to be in front of the Growlithe, and it's just a set amount of stuff that's in front. Whereas with the Eevee, it's a matter of like, you know, what are your eyes going to see, and how are you going to edit? How precise can you get it to be looking like it's actually in the grass?
I didn't do the Eevee. I did my own picture.
No, yeah, Hex here. Ryan had a photo that he took special for this that he was going to work on. So I want to see that. He had a really, really nice photo.
Okay. I'll share first. This is mine. I
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
So I don't have a fancy tripod, so I have to take my pictures really fast. I have to take a picture in the app, and then I have to close the app really fast, bring up my regular camera. And this day was particularly sunny, so you can very easily see where I edited, because the little bit that I moved changed the glare so much that the colors of the posts are actually a little different. But
oh yeah,
you can see I moved two of the arrows that should be foreground in front of the Pikachu and the balloons, and I left the blue one purposely kind of behind the tail to kind of give it like a little bit more depth. So it almost looks like in between the signs.
If you don't mind me interrupting for a second, this is we were talking about pre-call here. What I was talking about why I shoot my photos in Pokemon Go. This is why I'll place the Pokemon in front of the in the photo. Then I'll take the photo. I'll recall the Pokemon, put it behind me, put the phone back on the tripod, and then take the photo, because the camera quality in Pokemon Go is so much less than the camera quality that you get in your phone's built-in camera app. You can see the grain on the sign on your camera photo, whereas if you move that layer like you just did a second ago, you'll see that it's so much more blurry in Pokemon Go. And so it just,
that's a big difference in the color too, is that's just a lot more detailed picture, because it's actually
and I mean, and you can even if you wanted to, you could fix that in post. You could still go in and you can like add a slight blur to it and try and blend it a little bit better. It's just
or I could replace the whole sign.
Yeah, that too.
instead of just the corners. But yeah, so this is the original layer. Obviously, you can see Pikachu just in front of the sign. And then
Yeah, Ryan, even with the color differential, you can use Snapseed, the brush tool, and just mess around with exposure, and you can definitely get that color to pop better.
All right, there we go. So that's what I did. That was my practice.
That's
yeah, and
fun.
again, same with that. You did that in like, what was this, like 10 minutes or something?
Oh yeah.
Whereas if you were to actually spend your time on it, you would probably like add in 3 layers, right? You would like, because that bottom one is like it's a little bit lower than in the previous photo, so you would like separate them separately and then put them in.
AR editing is definitely you get out what you put in.
For sure.
Here.
So who's next?
I can share if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, let's
Aaron,
do it.
tell us about yourself. Take this time to talk about you.
Yeah, I'm well,
Like anyone doesn't
like
know Halo.
you guys know me. I think everybody watching this probably knows us. So, but yeah, like I had a lot of fun. I didn't know how to use Photoshop Mix. I did have it downloaded because JC recommended it to me.
Wow, look
Yeah,
at
I
that.
used it a handful of times, but now I'm going to use it a lot more because I didn't know about the layering thing. I think I used it for something else. I think I used it purposely for the clone tool.
Yeah, definitely. Like I used the fix for the clone tool, but I really like this. And other than it's so easy to work with, and the way you explained it was really simple for me. So
I'm glad it
that
came
really
across that way.
helped a lot. And I'll show you the fix one too. This is what I came up with.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a little.
It looks like she's like nuzzling, like sitting.
Looks better from afar, of course. If you go in, you can see the.
Yeah, you'll see the edit, and
Most of it's
that's what I'm talking about right there. You could use the healing tool to try and like
spot heal, but
you
it
could
just
also
makes
go back
it
to
look
the
more
clone
blurry.
stamp, and it could pull in from around the area.
Yeah, or I could
And
just like
here's another
restore.
thing that I didn't mention about the spot heal. If you tap that brush icon on the left of your screen there, same thing again. You can control the size and hardness of the brush.
Oh yeah, true.
Right.
So
And so if you have the size too small or the hardness too light, then it's going to create a lot of that blur.
You guys are gonna make me buy an iPhone, aren't you? Oh.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
All right, JC, let's see what you got, man.
Okay.
Let me turn this off.
Actually,
Oh,
it did.
it's
I think you rotated it.
Yeah, thanks.
That's the quick disconnect. Just rotate your.
Yeah, just rotate it.
Right? I think that's brilliant. We got
That's
a quick
pro
disconnect.
version.
That's actually a good idea.
That's what we call a pro gamer move.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so this is the original I did with the Growlithe. Tried to clean it up a little, but then I had some fun, did like a little JC spin on it.
Of course.
Added
Oh,
my little.
Oh, I love it. I love the JC look. That's just like total JC.
Yeah, it's
like
definitely
almost,
my
almost
vibe.
hand drawn mixed with picture.
Right, like it totally has like a much stronger.
I don't think you moved your post over enough though, JC.
Which one?
He was too
Oh,
focused.
I didn't even notice that.
He was too focused on the flex.
For real.
Fixed it.
No, that
There
you're
you
gonna have to
go.
go in.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah,
You have to do it.
No, there we go. He's just gonna crop it in,
right.
and then there you go.
Little,
There you go. Perfect.
Little fix.
Pro gamer
Except,
move.
except you can see at the bottom of the leg there.
Don't tell him. It's fine.
Ah, damn it.
There's
You're
two
right.
fences.
I didn't move it.
Two fences. There's clearly two fences. It's fine.
All right, and then this is what I did with the EV. Oh no, that's the original. I don't think I saved the EV, but it's over. It was on. Did we do it on Mix?
Yeah, a fix
That was
with
F.
F.
No, we did it on
Fix.
Fix. Okay.
Fix and mix. They couldn't have
Hate that so
chosen
much.
any better names, right?
Here we go.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I did with the EV. I tried to like put little like. Oh, there, it's catching up. Okay.
I was gonna say it didn't seem like anything was happening.
Yeah. Little grass. Toes.
Toe beans. It's very
Aw.
good.
Exactly, because I like toe
Still zoomed in on your
beans.
screen. There it goes.
Yeah, see, and this is like I said, this is why I like doing this group thing, because we can see everybody's different take and perspective on how it would look.
Yeah. That was I liked the Eevee one. The clone stamp is fun. Like when I'm doing like regular photoshopping, just like for client work on my computer, the clone stamp is something I use a lot. And then the other one I use a lot is the patch tool, just because it's that's what I use to fix skin.
And also,
and so
sorry.
And also, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because ARtographer brought up last time we spoke, but not this time, that you don't have to use the clone or the clone stamp to cover up Pokemon. You can remove whole other objects.
Oh yeah, that's what's so great about it.
If like a big rock or something ugly is chilling in the middle of your pristine grass field, you can just.
Oh, I use it to like delete people all the time.
Yeah,
if like someone's in my shot, it's like boom, go away.
Justin,
because Pelo, isn't that what you did?
Okay,
yeah,
just delete people.
Pelo, that's what you did to get your photo of the Trico, right?
Yeah, well, I can show my photo if you guys want.
Yeah, let's do that real quick too. Let's do that Trico. Pelo was before we did this one. Pelo was showing us the Trico photo that he posted. What was it, last year, right?
Yes, last year in March. There we go.
I think I remember.
And he used these same techniques to get rid of a person in the background of the photo, so it was a little bit more clean.
Everyone's phone is disconnected from Zoom.
I think it's because the phone timed out, and when it does that, it just disconnects.
I think mine's still connected. Yeah, mine's still connected. There it is. Yeah, so there's that edited photo.
So let JC guess. JC, guess where the lady was. There's a
lady he edited out.
Can you tell?
Honestly, no. Hold on.
We're gonna blow your mind.
No, I honestly can't tell.
Let's see the original, Pelo.
Yeah, it's a good edit, Pelo. I can't tell at all. Was she maybe sitting in the chair behind?
Yep.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it's something very simple, but like that's enough to like ruin a photo, you know?
Right, because it's very distracting. Because she's in the eye line of Letty there, whereas the person who's behind her, not as distracting.
Yeah.
You know, like he's there, but it's not quite as distracting as the person who's right in front of her.
Yeah, because
I should have
wearing
asked
a
for left.
colored shirt. Yeah.
Go away.
And the other girl, like, because Letty's wearing a dark, a black shirt, and then that other girl is also wearing either a dark brown or a black shirt, and she also has dark colored hair. Like, it just, yeah, it's very distracting. It takes away from the composition. But yeah, great job, Halo. That's a great edit. Something so simple and so clean, and it just completely changed the dynamic of the photo.
And this is what Ryan was saying, is that using the clone stamp tool, the heal tool, you can use it to remove other things, use it to do other things like remove other objects from your photos.
Yeah, guys, I actually had a huge hard time with this one because, as you can see, like the
writing,
not only the writing, but it's like how do you say, the glass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the gradient.
Transparent in one part, and then it's not transparent in some.
Oh,
or
yeah.
To clone that, it was really hard. I had to choose that top transparent thing, clone it over here, and if you can see, it's
go back to the original.
So hard to do.
Yeah, I mean now that I've seen it, I can tell, but yeah, it still looks good. Yeah, I like that you erased like the whole word. You know, and then when you zoom out, like it doesn't even matter. Like you can't read it anyways.
Of course, yeah.
There's also
you're not focused on that. You're focused on the Trico and the pretty girl.
Exactly. It didn't take away from the, all the.
You also had the dark hair over the light window and the light face over the dark.
Yeah.
Like,
it was hard.
The composition is good.
All right. We also had Mythical Lae Snaps here, but she didn't edit a picture. So she can't share.
No, I've been dealing with a sick dog this whole time.
Oh,
give him all the pets for me.
I will.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap up this first episode or whatever you want to call it. If you've made it this far watching or listening, let us know in whatever comment you see this on, because we don't even know where we're going to post it 100% yet, but we'll all get copies and we're all going to post it to at least Twitter and Instagram, I'm sure. Probably YouTube for
sure.
Justin too.
I think I'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, my channel's been dead for a year. I'll post this video out of nowhere.
If people wanna see more or hear more of this or join, definitely let us know in the comments, because if we see more interest, we'll definitely be more likely to make this a regular thing. Besides us, at least sharing it. I'm sure all of us are gonna hang out a lot more.
I don't need their permission. I'm gonna do it anyways.
Good. Run with it.
All right. Well, once again, I've been Hex. Thank you, guys. Want to say bye?
Thank you, Riot.
Thanks. It's fun.
Yeah, thank you a lot, Pokemon ARtographer. I think I learned something new, and that's just really made it worth my time. And of course, hanging out with you guys was so fun. So
it was time. That was close.
I hope we do it again.
Me too.
Definitely.
All right.
Always
guys.
a blast.
Thank you. Signing off.